Stu Central has been covering every single action currently going on at the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, especially in the city of Fez, where our correspondent and sports anchor Udoka Njoku has been watching every single thing on and off the pitch. Udoka Njoku joins us now from Fez. I like to call him the Winter Soldier because he's all decked up like he's in Antarctica, and actually he's in Morocco. Udoka, thank you so much for keeping the flame alive, and I'm sure that you are particularly pleased with how the Super Eagles managed to see out that game and get 3 points on board. But your thoughts regarding how the players responded to winning 3 points and getting off the mark? What did you make of their body language?
Thank you very much, Sunday, for having me. Thank you guys in the studio. Good to see you, Wale and Tony. Yes, I'm not keeping the flame alive. I'm keeping the cold alive. It is crazy right here in Morocco. Now, for the Super Eagles game, yes, it was 3 points, well-deserved 3 points for Nigeria, but it was a scrappy victory. Adebola Lukman's goal had to instill a bit of hope for the Super Eagles fans, and it was okay for us to cross the line, but against teams like Tunisia, if we cannot finish up our chances, what can we do against teams like Tunisia? And of course, Uganda, who can also be a banana peel for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So yeah, after the game, Eric Shell had to answer questions from journalists, and he said the boys are taking it one game at a time. And a lot of journalists were not so impressed with that victory, while some are quite indifferent, saying that a win is a win. Move on to the next game. It is okay for us not to beat Tanzania by as much as 3-0 or 4-0, because if they had done that, then going into the next game, they just might be like a lackadaisical and maybe crash out from the group stage. But it's okay for us to win 2-1. Then in the coming games, we would put in all our best efforts to ensure that we go through and hopefully finish top of the group. Well, so far so good. Great game for Nigeria.
All right, Udoka, it seemed to be that the players as well showed some form of frustration. In particular, Victor Osimhen, when he was getting substituted, we saw a bit of a conversation between him and Eric Shell, and he seemed to show frustration. Did you by chance catch that? And was there any aftermath regarding the conversation? I wouldn't say altercation now, the conversation between Victor Osimhen and Eric Shell after he got substituted.
Yeah, we all saw that, and I don't think there was anything to say concerning that. There was nothing. I'm sure he was settled in the dressing room. During the mixed zone, we wanted to talk to Victor Osimhen and said he had lost his voice. Maybe he was trying to address the players and all of that. So I'm sure they will settle all of that in the dressing room. Nothing to worry about.
I think Tony has a question for you. Udoka, if you can hear us. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to just highlight a few things from that game. We could have won by a wider margin because we created a lot more opportunities to score goals. But at the same time, we could have also considered on a few more occasions. So for me, I think that those are the things that the coach would watch out for. How were we able to shut out our opponents, and how are we able to take advantage of the opportunities that we created going into the next game? That's
more of a comment rather than a question.
Yes.
But what did you have a question for Udoka?
Yeah, I wanted to ask. With what we saw today, I thought the team got a bit better when Moses Simon came on. On that left-hand side, he brought a bit of energy with exactly. He was beating his marker. He was making those runs inside. Do you think that Moses Simon, because apparently it looked like the old Akko Adams Osimhen thing did not work today, if we're very, very much honest. It didn't work at all today. But because, the moment he went off, we got a bit better. We started playing a bit wide.
I thought Akko's movement was good. Very good.
Yeah, he made some good moves, but we played too narrow. Our wingers were not getting the necessary width, not until Simon came in. So, Udoka, do you think that Eric Shell will look at Simon? Because Simon is a preferred, he has a feeling that he likes Moses Simon because he works hard.
You want to get to that question?
Yeah, so do you think that Moses Simon gets to start in that game against Tunisia?
Well, for Moses Simon, you can also understand that age just like the catching up with him, he's a relevant team. He's an integral part of the Super Eagles team. But coming up against Tunisia, I do not think he will start that game. Eric Shell has been seen to be a man who is stubborn with his tactics and formation. So we just might be seeing the same 4-4-2 against Tunisia. we just might see Akwa Adams and Osimhen up front again, because you talk about fear factor. These two strikers are big strikers when it comes to playing European football. So we just might see the same thing happen against Tunisia again. Then maybe Moses Simon might be the chief. But to be very honest with you, the fans are pleased with Moses Simon's deliveries. But again, one issue that Nigeria always had is a lot of times we play to the gallery or we overdo it. For example, Samuel Chukwueze, who was on the pitch, he was nowhere to be found. He kept on dribbling all over the place, and fans kept on screaming that he should be taken off the football pitch. And for Moses Simon as well, fans are clamoring for him to hopefully start the next game. But I don't think Eric Shell will start in that game against Tunisia. But you never can tell. Eric Shell is a man who doesn't like to put his cards out there to see what he has to do. Maybe on Thursday when we'll talk to him.
Okay, well, but one man did start that game, and he scored what turned out to be the winning goal. I'm talking about Adebola Lukman. If my director could help me with that goal, a really, really good finish. Turned his man. He seemed as if he was going to shoot with his right, but he came back to his left, struck from distance, and that is what I like to refer to as a fulminating finish.
Yeah, definitely. That's what you expect from the 2024 Africa. Of the best player in Africa, actually, and he seems to have gotten that form that we saw in his early days at Atalanta, the form that he used to help them win, the Europa League and that treble that season. And for everything that he has gone through from the start of this season, with the former coach being left out of the squad, wanting to leave Atalanta, not being a good state of mind mentally, poor performances in the recent qualifiers that we played from the month of September till November. I think Lukman put in a very, very good performance, and he's one of those key players for us. Let's not forget that he scored 4 goals, if I'm not mistaken, in the last AFCON campaign. So he's one player that we can depend on, and he seems to be the main playmaker for the Super Eagles in this team. I think that's a position that could be up for competition between him and Adebola Lukman, or rather between him and Alex Iwobi. And also Lukman could be a second striker. Honestly, it depends on Eric Shell, So it depends. Like I said earlier, he needs to pick the best formation and the best set of players to help execute whatever system he decides to go with.
I was going to ask, Tunde, I was going to ask, have we seen, Wale, you can also help out here. I'm not sure Eric Shell has used the same starting lineup in consecutive games. He's always changing and chopping, and that's why a lot of us believe that he's still struggling a little bit to get his best starting player. For the next game, ordinarily we would expect that our next game will probably start with the same kind of lineup. But don't be surprised in the next game if Chukwueze is not starting, Akko is not starting, and he decides to, bring Onyeka and bring some other players, and then I think it's Tunisia game. He has to play differently against Tunisia.
By the way, Tunisia are leading 3-0 right now.
Against
they will watch that game and know that, I think a point suits me. I think a point will get me to what I want. And let's talk about
you know what, gentlemen? I think it's only proper that we should listen to Eric Shell and his captain Semi Ajayi, who was speaking to the media after the final. Who was speaking to the media after that game, and Semi Ajayi was actually the man of the match. Let's take a quick listen to them.
We have to analyze this win because we did in first half a lot of good things to create a chance to score. We had a lot of chance to score goals in the first half, and in the second half we gave the chance to Tanzania to coming back in this game. We did 2 mistakes. So after, when we did play every time in front of us, we had some chance to score a goal. So this is a game, like you said, we are happy for the 3 winning, and the most important thing in AFCON is to improve at every game. So now, after the analysis that we will do tonight or tomorrow morning.
It's always an amazing feeling to score for your country, and in such a game like this to get us off to a really good start. I was really, really pleased. It shows that we're one team. We can't only rely on the attackers to get goals. I think we need to get goals from all over the team. So yeah, the defenders, the midfielders, everyone needs to chip in if we want to do well in the tournament. So yeah, I'm glad we got off to a good start. So a few things that we could iron out and improve. There are also a lot of positives that we could take from the game as well. But yeah, like I said, we're definitely aware of the things that we need to do better in terms of seeing out the game and also killing teams off. And we'll be working really, really hard on the training field.
Of course, they're going to be under pressure because not qualifying for the World Cup and they lost there and their first game after not qualifying. First game in the AFCON is always very difficult. They need to work hard and fight as a team. And we're lucky today. When you look at Tanzania, they have chances to kill the game, and we're lucky to get away with it. And hopefully, against Tunisia, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough one. In AFCON, your first game is always difficult, and we should give the team. We should wait for the next game and see, and we shouldn't start judging.
Well, Udoka, you caught up with Yakubu Aregwedi in the mixed zone, and he seemed particularly pleased with the Super Eagles' performance and also the fact that they also managed to get 3 points. But finally, before we let you go, we know it's rather late there in Fez. Good start for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I need to get your opinion. I've heard from the gentleman here. Are you impressed with how this team acquitted themselves in their opening game, or is there still more to build up on going into that next game against Tunisia?
So I need the Super Eagles of Nigeria to get back to that old Super Eagles that we used to know, beat a lower team silly. I'm tired of hearing that excuse of the first game is always difficult. Tunisia currently leading 3-0. If you're a very serious team, you should take your first game very serious and still fear in your other opponents. So I was not totally impressed with what I saw in the Super Eagles game today. At some point, I was really feeling tired and drowsy. So I need something way better than what we saw today from the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I hope they bring that up against Tunisia, which is a tougher game. But I just have to see something different. I need to see that firepower, that hunger in the Super Eagles when they play against Tunisia. But for today, it has come and gone. And when the players are passing at the mixed zone, they were not so excited. We couldn't feel that excitement from the Super Eagles players. So going forward, we just hope that things get better for Nigeria. We can't continue to go on like this.
Well, Udoka Njoku keeping the cold at bay, and our very own winter soldier in Morocco, also in Fez. Thank you so much for your time. We'll be reaching out to you tomorrow for more updates from the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.